Greetings out there, and welcome to a Freaky Friday edition of Dapper's Playhouse. I'm your excellent host, Dapper, here to bring you everything freaky, creepy, spooky on the talk. I'm not gonna hold you, I'm gonna jump right into it. Thanks everyone for doing what you do, and away we go.
Hey, smartass. Your mom called. She said enough with the sass. Or I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, you heard that? Yep, you know who we were talking to. Yep, you. That's right, you.
Let's talk about another haunted doll. If you're new here, hi. I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff, and recently I was sitting down with one of my friends, and she told me legitimately the most terrifying ghost story I've ever heard about a haunted doll. So let's get into it. So here's the context of how the doll got to her and her family. Essentially, her neighbor was moving away and was like, hey, I can't take this doll with me. Can you guys keep her for me? I don't know why this neighbor would give them the doll. I don't know. And unfortunately, this doll wasn't like a Raggedy Ann doll. This was a large porcelain vintage doll. So my friend and her family agreed to keep the doll for their neighbor. And my friend specifically says that when they started having the doll in their home, there was just like some weird energy going on around the doll. And they specifically started to notice, and this gives me chills, that the doll's fingers started falling off. Like porcelain fingers would go missing. And they had no idea where the fingers were going. They were never able to find them. And just as a reminder, this wasn't a tiny porcelain doll where like the fingers could go missing if you like bumped it wrong. This was a pretty big porcelain doll from my understanding. Eventually it got to the point, I don't know how long into them having the doll where they decided to get rid of it, but it was essentially, this doll's really weird and it freaks us out and there's something wrong with it. So I'm pretty sure they donated it. So if you need to decide to not buy things from thrift stores, especially porcelain dolls, that was it. But it gets worse. So my friend was doing her laundry, and the way that their house is set up, the washer and dryer are in the basement where the doll used to be. She's just doing her thing, when out of the corner of her eye, she sees this little thing run. And it was wearing the same color dress that the porcelain doll had, and it was about the same size as the porcelain doll. And my friend said after that experience, she refused to do anything in the basement or do her laundry in the basement for a long time. And that she still hates going down there. And I don't know what it is about seeing things out of the corner of your eye way scarier than I think seeing something at face value. But anyways, that's gonna do it for me. Stay tuned for more ghost stories.
Yeah. Damn dolls. Come on. Yep, nope, sorry. Nope, that's at the curb. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. Yep, I'm there. Creepy.
Hey, I know you're a fucking mimic. I've seen you all over TikTok and stuff like that. If you want to mimic my voice, that's fine. But if you're going to live under here, you at least have to pay rent. You got it? No, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
the door and kick some ass.
Then what's your name then?
Huh. That went through her for a loop. She didn't know. Nope.
If you've seen me before, you probably know that I live in the Appalachian Mountains. The other night, my parents were telling me about some really creepy things that have happened to them, and I have to tell y'all some of these stories. My dad said that him and a buddy of his were going fishing one evening. They had planned to stay there and sleep in his friend's car because they knew that he didn't have any headlights, so they wouldn't be able to see the drive out of there. So they packed up all their fishing gear and they drove out to Ross's Creek, which is a really secluded area here in eastern Kentucky. They drove this little blazer miles and miles through the woods until they got to the spot where they wanted to fish at. They spent the rest of the evening fishing, and whenever it got dark, they decided to go ahead and get in the vehicle. They were going to sleep until the sun came up since he had no headlights. As they're both laying there trying to go to sleep, they hear somebody banging on the side of the car. My dad's friend goes, "Is that you, man?" And my dad was like, "No, I was kind of hoping it was you, man." And you know my dad, he's a pretty big man. He's like 6'4", 250 pounds, not scared of anything. So him and his buddy jumped out of the vehicle, ready to fight whatever it was. They're parked on a big open field next to a creek bed. You could see for a pretty good distance, and he said there was absolutely nothing there. So they got back in his vehicle. They decided to just try to go back to sleep and ignore it, and then it happened again. So they both jumped out again, ready to fight. Nothing there. They get back in the vehicle. This time he says it happens again, except instead of a few things on the side of the vehicle, he said it was like bam, 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 all around the whole vehicle, and like every single spot of the vehicle was being smacked at the same exact time over and over again. So they jump out again, and still nothing there. So they jump back in the car, and they're both freaked out at this point. And his friend was like, "Man, I'd about drive all the way out of here with no headlights." My dad was like, "Amen. Let's go." My dad's not scared of much, but he said you would never catch him camping out at Ross's Creek.
Okay. No Ross's Creek. She looked like an angry grandma.
Mom? Hey, sweetie. You're home early. I thought you weren't supposed to be back till next week. Oh. Is everything okay? Yes. Everything is fine.
Hey, sweetie. How's it going? Sorry I missed your call. look like you've seen a ghost, girl. What's going on? Sweetie? Baby, what's going on, sweetie? What's going on with you?
I don't know.
If you are dreaming and someone asks to hold your hands, never let them. So this lady says that growing up, her mom always told her that if you're dreaming of someone who has already passed away and they come to you in your dreams asking you to hold your hands, to never let them because they can take you with them. She explains how she never really understood if her mom was just saying that to scare them or if she really meant what she was saying. She says that her mother has since passed away. However, her mom came to her in a dream and she remembers everything she was wearing, down to like her nails, that they were still done, because she remembers that in life her mom always had her nails done. So in the dream, the mom looks at her and she's like, "You're not scared of me?" And the lady, she's like, "No, what? Like, why would I be scared of you? You're my mom." And the very next thing her mom told her was, "Give me your hands." And she told her, "No, why do you want my hands?" But she does say that she did touch her in the dream, like her shoulder, and that she remembers how cold her mom was in the dream. And when she told her mom, "No, why do you want my hands?" her mom was like, "No, daughter, just give me your hand. Come on, give me your hand." She says that she told her, "No, no, mom, I'm okay. I don't want to take your hand." And you know, she woke up. That was the end of the dream. Once she wakes up, she feels kind of guilty for not giving her mom her hands, but she remembered, like even in her dream, she remembered that her mom living would tell her never take their hands. So she's like, did my mom want to take me with her? I mean, in that moment, she's like laying in bed with her two daughters, so she's like, why would my mom want to take me away and leave my two daughters here alone? So then she thought something different. She was like, what if that was not my mom? I'm over here like, what if the mom came just to test her and see if she learned her lesson about not taking somebody's hand? But I don't know, either way, it's creepy, it's a little scary, especially when it's like your loved ones and you're like thinking like, oh my god, I should have taken her hand, because she's still feeling guilty about it. And honestly, I would probably feel guilty too. If you want to listen to the story in Spanish, this is what's gonna look like, and it's called Relatos de Luna Llena. But what do you guys think? Has this ever happened to you? Are you going to take anybody's hand? Hopefully the answer is no.
This very well might be one of the worst ways to pass away that I have ever heard of. This slideshow starts off with an image of a 25-year-old that went missing in 2009, Larry, the supermarket he worked at, no frills, and a store-grade refrigeration unit. Now, when Larry went missing in January of 2009, there were no leads and nobody knew what happened to him. He vanished without a trace. 10 years later, though, in 2019, after No Frills had closed down and they were moving out refrigeration units, they discovered his remains behind one of them. And apparently in No Frills, it was common for employees to climb above the refrigerators to relax and take an unofficial break. It's thought that he climbed up into this space, but accidentally fell between the wall of the refrigerators. The refrigerators were so loud that nobody could hear him yelling for help, and he went missing. Apparently, customers of the supermarket also stated that there was a really nasty smell by the refrigerators, and some people even had to leave because of how bad it smelled. Being trapped upside down, yelling with no one able to hear you sounds like an absolute nightmare. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'll say. Damn, man, I guess you didn't make a mark.
If you guys want to watch the scariest movie of 2024, look no further than 2024's Daddy's Head. Watching every horror movie of 2024, part 124. And yes, I did say the scariest movie of 2024. Here's a quick spoiler-free review. So the movie's about a young boy and his stepmother, and the father recently passed away, and they're being hunted by a mysterious creature that mimics the boy's recently deceased father. And without giving too much away, that's essentially what the movie's about. Now, if you decide to watch this movie, please watch it at nighttime, in the dark, with the volume blasting. That's the only way to watch this movie. I wish this had a theater release because it's one of those movies that you should see in the theater. I shared the theater with a bunch of horror talk creators and we had a blast. Everyone in the theater was jumping, and there's one specific scene guaranteed to make you jump. The design of the creature is super creepy, and it has some unsettling shots where it's just staring directly at you. This movie was directed by Benjamin Barfa, who I got to meet, and he was just a super cool guy. And I cannot wait for the other projects that he brings because this one impressed me a lot. I'm gonna give Daddy's Head a 9 out of 10. So I was able to watch this movie early, but if you guys wanted to watch it for yourselves, which I highly recommend, it's available on Shudder October 11th. And like I said earlier in the video, please watch this in like the correct atmosphere. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.
Okay, Daddy's Head, everybody, check it out. Total crap. Apologies.
Trying the new Addams Family menu at Burger King. They have 4 different items on this menu. I'm going to start with the Whopper. I think that's what most people will be interested in. This is the Wednesday Whopper. It is similar to a regular Whopper. The only difference is the purple bun that they make from purple potatoes, and then it has Swiss cheese instead of American cheese. I love the purple bun so much, and I love Wednesday. Then they have Gomez's cinnamon sugar churros. It comes with a chocolate sauce. All the characters are on the packaging, but this was the only one that didn't have a character on it. It didn't show Gomez. I have to be honest, my location can be hit and miss whether things are fresh or not, so I fully expected this churro to be really like rock hard, but it wasn't. It was light and crispy and just a good little snack. They then have Thing's rings. These are just Burger King's onion rings. The difference is the packaging. I love Thing and he's on it. And last is Morticia's Kooky Chocolate Shake. This is vanilla soft serve with chocolate cake batter fudge. It also had some purple and black cookie crumbs on top, which doesn't really add any flavor to it. They were just really cute. Overall, I really liked the new menu items. I thought the packaging was really cute. I wish they had something for Lurch and Pugsley and maybe Uncle Fester. Like, that's asking a lot. Have you tried these? What do you think? Let me know.
Gross. Pass on that. You'll thank yourself and me later.
I want to play hide the soul, Andy. Oh, the old Dambala. Give me the power, I beg of you.
A little big.
Yeah, I think black men hate me. Hey. Hey.
Oh my God!
Shit. I'm going down there. Shit. Oh, goddamn, the door lock? Oh. Damn. There is somebody down there. If they ain't goddamn ass down there, I'm not going to look at it. Hey, somebody's in here with me. I'm up here doing this damn job. These folks want to do all this walking in the dark. I'm not walking down there no more in the dark. Hey. Hey. I'm not coming to back there, man. Somebody's down there with me. Somebody in here with me. And I got my camera on. You know if you just come out, I let you go free. But don't try to just pop out on me. You know what I'm saying? Skirt like me, make this shit all on myself on the job. Come on now. Come on now. I'm just trying to get my goddamn hours to go home.
Now whoever's back there remains hidden.
You act like you don't hear me.
That was
you know
great.
You back there. Come on.
Not wanting to find out, he gets out of there.
These are the things in the Ouija board museum that I wouldn't want to meet alone in a dark alleyway.
This Ouija board a woman claimed her son became obsessed with, and then he started chanting and digging holes in the wall and trying to kill his sister. She tried to make it stop by putting the board in the freezer and it didn't work. The astromagnetic chart, which was designed to talk to aliens. The girly pop slumber party Ouija, which was eliminated from the show, so you can't trust her just because she's cute. This talking board, which is surrounded by a bunch of questions and weirdly predicted the downfall of Hitler, and asked more questions about Hitler than I'm comfortable with. We have the Mystery Stranger Things board that was sent with no address and said, trust me, you don't want this.
Okay. It's all creepy if you ask me.
They called this man the Toy Box Killer, and he might be one of the most terrifying men I ever had the misfortune of reading about. And now you're gonna know all about him too. David Parker Ray had been having dark fantasies of hurting women and just doing the most terrible things to them as young as when he was only 9 years old. He is a textbook sadist, which makes him one of the most terrifying people out there because when he hurt women, he did it because he enjoyed it, like deeply enjoyed it. David Parker Ray is known as the Toy Box Killer because he had this trailer in his backyard that he called the Toy Box that he filled with everything and anything that could cause the most unspeakable pain to his victims. And he spent like over $100,000 on the items inside of his toy box, so there were a lot of things in there. He would kidnap young women to keep in his toy box, and then once they were in his toy box, he would play them a tape recording where he would explain in graphic detail everything that he planned to do to them. Is that not the most terrifying thing you've ever heard? And this tape recording is online if you want to go hear it, but do it at your own risk because it is deeply disturbing. In his toy box, he also had a chair, like a chair that you would find at the lady doctor, and then he would chain his victims to the chair. He would essay them and then hurt them in the most unspeakable ways possible. David Parker Ray would also film everything he did to these women, and then he would sell the videos to I don't know who, but scary people, and he would sell them for a lot of money. David Parker Ray did not act alone. He actually had a lot of accomplices, including his own daughter. David's daughter, Jessie, was always very close to her father, almost too close. Like a lot of people actually think that her father fathered her child, and Jessie was trained from a very young age to be like her father's assistant, and she would help lure women to be her father's victims, including her own friends. And once David decided that he was done with the women that he had in captivity, he would do one of three things to them. He would either kill them, or he would sell them across the Mexico border into human trafficking, or he would even let them go. He would let them go on a remote country back road, and they would never, come forward or turn him in the police because he kept them so heavily sedated on a bunch of substances that they would not even remember a single thing. Some of his victims that he did let go ended up coming forward years later after the memories came back years later. So chances are that there's probably a lot of women out there that don't even remember that they were victims of this guy. David Parker Ray was really living a double life. He lived in this really, really small town where everyone knew each other. Everyone thought that he was a normal, good guy, a good father.
It's always the case, ain't it?
How evil their neighbor really was. David has also been described as kind of a ladies' man, if you can even believe that, because he always had some pretty young girlfriend. He even had this girlfriend, Cindy, who was also helping him with his toy box. I'm not sure how this man was able to convince so many people to help him out, because even when his daughter, Jessie, got a boyfriend, he was able to convince the boyfriend to also help with the toy box and help kidnap and kill these victims. So it was just these 4 people committing the most evil crimes imaginable. And all of this only ever came to light in March of 1999 when David and his girlfriend kidnapped a 22-year-old girl named Cynthia. They had her in captivity for 3 entire days, doing the worst things possible to her, when David's girlfriend accidentally left the keys to her restraints in her reach while David was at work. She grabbed the house phone and tried to call 911, but before she could say anything to the person on the other phone, David's girlfriend came back in, found her, caught her, and then the two started fighting. Luckily, she was able to escape, and she runs to the first house that she can find. She's banging on the door, she's screaming that she's been held captive, and Cynthia's not wearing anything. She's wearing nothing but a dog collar and a bunch of chains. The neighbor calls 911, but because Cynthia has been on all these substances, she can't really remember much. But luckily, she did make that 911 call when she first escaped. So they were able to track where that 911 call was made from and track her right back to David Parker Ray's house. These small-town police officers had no idea what they were walking into when they stepped into David's toy box. They find hundreds of videos of what David did to his victims, because remember, he filmed it all. But David tried to say, hey, everything in the videos is consensual, it's just acting. But his 3 accomplices, his girlfriend, his daughter, and his daughter's boyfriend, they all turn on him, and they confess everything. They tell the police everything in graphic detail. They told the police that David would kill at least 1 girl every single year for 40 years, you guys. And that David had this boat, and he would take it to this nearby lake that had these ginormous catfish, you guys, and these catfish would eat anything. And that's how David would dispose of his victims. But unfortunately, because of this, they were not able to find a single one of David's victims' bodies. Even though it's believed that David killed at least 60 women, but probably more, and they had videotapes of him doing it, they were not able to charge him with a single one. For the crimes that they were able to find concrete evidence of, they were able to sentence David Parker Ray to 224 years in prison. But get this, after spending 1 day in prison, David Parker Ray had a heart attack and died. So he never even had to serve a prison sentence for all these terrible crimes that he committed. His 3 accomplices, his girlfriend Cindy, his daughter Jessie, and her boyfriend Roy, all spent only a couple years in prison before being released, so they're all out free somewhere in the world right now today. This is one of those terrible cases where you feel like there was no justice that was really gotten, and there's no closure because of it, and it's just despicable. This man is so scary, and the fact that there's people like that out there gives me the chills. Please let me know all your guys' thoughts in the comments, and while you're there, please let me know what case you want to see me cover next. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Well, what do you know, folks? Just like that, we've come to the end of another Playhouse session. I thank you kindly for stopping on by and experiencing this 11th day of Spooktober with me. I look forward to doing that all tomorrow. So, like always, if you can't be good, be bad. And remember, you're never too old to play. I'll catch you on the flip side.